Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you guys how you can access Binance, even if it's not available in your state or country, and obviously we're going to use the VPN for that. Now, as you might know, the US has its own version of Binance, Binance.us, but it's not available in all 50 states, including Alaska, American Samoa, Connecticut, Georgia, Guam, Maine, Northern Mariana Islands, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, Texas, US Virgin Islands, Vermont, Washington. So as a US resident, you won't be able to access Binance.us from those states or the main Binance.com, where you'll find over 500 options included in the main service. However, many people are getting around this by using a VPN to connect to a server in a country where Binance is available, and it allows them to continue trading without any restrictions. So it's because of US regulations that Binance isn't really available in the US, and if you try to use it within the US, you'll either get an error or a blank site, or you'll be redirected to the US version of Binance, which only has around 150 cryptocurrency options. So this pared down version isn't available in every US state, like I mentioned, and it also charges higher fees than the full version. So if you're in the US and you just want a full Binance experience, no holds barred, you'll need a VPN. Now, you want to be careful as to which VPN you want to use. A lot of VPNs out there claim that they can access all sorts of content that's unavailable worldwide, but these websites end up finding out that a VPN is being used and then they just restrict access to the site. So you really need a VPN with proper obfuscation where the websites won't be able to tell that you're even using the VPN. So this is why I clicked these three right here: Express, Nord, and Surfshark. Now this is very important, and you want to connect to the VPN before you log into Binance using an incognito page. If you don't want to use an incognito page for whatever reason, I suggest going to your settings, then go to privacy and security and clear your browsing data. You want to clear your browsing data, download history, cookies from other sites, cache, etc. So once you've cleared all that, you can use the regular browser if you don't want to use incognito. But if you've already tried logging into Binance and you got Binance.us, I'd recommend using incognito mode first, at least if you don't want to clear your cookies. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what happens when I connect to the US site. Let's connect to a server in New Jersey. Here you'll see that Binance displays the limited version in New Jersey. Now, I'm not actually in the States, which is why I'm using a New Jersey server right here to show you guys that it'll actually redirect me to Binance.us. But if you're just getting started, you don't want to create an account with Binance.us. You want to select countries such as Germany or Switzerland, where you have access to Binance.com for the full Binance experience. Okay, so if I try to access Binance.com while still connected to a server in New York, I'm going to get this error message: Binance is unavailable to provide service to US users, and it'll try to redirect you to the Binance.us website. So that's an example of what you get. So let me close this and open up a new incognito window and disconnect from my VPN. I'm going to use my favorite option, ExpressVPN, to show you how this is done. But if you want to get it already and follow along, the links are in the description, and you can use the discount to save yourself some money. Now, you want to connect to a server in Switzerland using ExpressVPN or Nord or Surfshark, whichever one. I'll briefly talk about these VPNs at the end of the video, but first let me show you guys how you can access the full Binance experience. Okay, now that I'm connected to Switzerland, if I head on over to Binance, it opens up right away, and there we go. So once we have Binance.com open, let's go ahead and see if we can get any kind of restriction here. So it seems like it's completely available in Switzerland, and I also believe it's available in Germany and a bunch of other countries, just not in the States, unfortunately. So if you're in the States, you might have a little trouble depending on the place. Now, once you have access to Binance.com while using the server in Switzerland, you'll want to register your account from Switzerland. So you want to make sure that you're always connected to the same region. So if you register using a Swiss account, and if you create a Swiss account, make sure you're always going back or logging onto Binance with your account from Switzerland. Otherwise, Binance might detect that there's some suspicious activity going on and might investigate you. and don't try to withdraw large amounts. So when you're using a VPN, just try to keep everything small, because if you want to withdraw bigger amounts, you might have to provide some sort of identification for Binance. Like they might ask you about your passport or your ID or something like that. And obviously, if you're not a Swiss resident, or you're not living in the EU, or you don't have Swiss citizenship or whatever region you put in your VPN, you might get in a little trouble. So you want to keep your withdrawals small. You don't have to provide identification, and you want to make sure that you don't log into Binance.us or open the US version of the website in the first place. And if you did, maybe use a different browser. Use Firefox or just incognito mode, Internet Explorer, just something without any cache and cookies if you've already tried using Binance from the States. Again, always connect to your VPN before accessing Binance. So I chose these 3 VPNs because they are very secure. They have strict no logs policies, which are actually verified through independent audit reports, and each of their no logs policies are as solid as they can be. And overall, they're just great VPNs. Of course, they all vary in budgets and features, so just pick and choose depending on your own specific situation and preferences. So to go over them briefly, with ExpressVPN, you have over 3,000 servers in 105 countries, as you can see with the country options right here. You also have basic security features like the kill switch and split tunneling. These can be super useful. The kill switch makes sure that when you disconnect from the VPN, it'll cut your internet connection to prevent any leaks, so that the only way you're connected to the internet is through the secured servers of the VPN. And split tunneling will allow you to choose which applications are routed through the VPN and which ones aren't. So what you can do is, for example, if you only want your torrenting client or your browser to use the VPN while the rest of your network isn't covered by the VPN, you can do that with split tunneling. There are a handful of protocols, Lightweight being the best one for performance, and with ExpressVPN, you will be able to protect up to 8 devices with a single subscription. With Nord VPN, you've got 7,300 servers in 117 countries and plenty of features to work with, like a bunch of specialty servers, including dedicated IP and double VPN, and threat protection, which is like a mini antivirus. As far as protocols, you should definitely stick with using the NordLynx protocol because it makes NordVPN arguably the fastest VPN in the industry. And then you have a kill switch and app kill switch. So the app kill switch will close selected apps when you disconnect from the VPN or if the connection drops, rather than disconnecting your entire network, as it is with the conventional kill switch. Other than these, Nord's got so many more features like split tunneling and an easy way to change DNS with custom DNS. There's also MeshNet if you want to send or receive files over the encrypted version of Nord. And very recently, they've added an identity theft protection feature, though it's not completely rolled out to all users yet, and it's only available in the US. Now, as far as protocols go, you should definitely stick with using the NordLynx protocol because it makes NordVPN arguably the fastest VPN in the industry. But if you live in a censorship-heavy country like Turkey, for example, Nord's newly added protocol, Nord Whisper, will be able to get around these heavy network restrictions that would otherwise block VPN functions. And as far as simultaneous connections go, you'll be able to secure up to 10 devices with Nord, slightly more than Express, which only allows up to 8 devices. Now, if you're looking for something even more budget-friendly and the option to add up to an unlimited number of devices with one account, then Surfshark's your go-to. Surfshark has over 3,200 servers in 100 countries. It's very convenient. You can share your account with as many people as you'd like all your friends and family can use the same account. As far as features, you still have multi-hop and static IP, and there's also basic security features like Bypasser, which is the same as split tunneling, but it's just called Bypasser. And you have Clean Web, which is an ad blocker, and you have a handful of protocols, but just stick with WireGuard because it's the best performing one. And one thing to quickly point out, Surfshark is the only VPN I've seen offer split tunneling for iOS devices, and that's a big thing, since the majority of VPNs are not capable of doing this due to how restrictive Apple's operating systems are. So yeah, it's a very budget-friendly and convenient VPN. So that's all for this video. Again, just keep in mind to not make huge withdrawals from Binance if you're using a VPN, or they might ask for ID. So yeah, 2, don't try to access Binance without being connected to your VPN first. And 3, make sure to clear your cache and cookies if you're using Google Chrome. Otherwise, use incognito mode. But if you keep using incognito mode, they might be alerted and something could look suspicious to them. If you're constantly logging in and you don't have any cookies or cache or anything like that, it might look a bit weird to them. So I definitely recommend you clear your cache, clear your cookies, and then use the regular browser while using the VPN, and never access Binance without using a VPN. So that way you should be good to go. Besides that, all these VPNs are covered by a 30-day money-back guarantee, by the way, so you can just try whichever one without any risk really, and then 24/7 live chat support is how you can get that refund, or ask any other questions you might be having about these VPNs. But again, you'll find links to special deals and discounts in the description down below, as well as full reviews. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe to see more of these videos, and let me know in the comments if there's anything cybersecurity you'd like me to cover. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.